Howdy folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today for you, I am doing a Mighty game review of Star Wars Squadrons. Pretty new game here, folks, and actually this was a game I was on the fence to buy because, well, EA Games. But let's dive on into it more here in a bit. First off, the developer is Motive Studios. The publisher is EA Games. Boo hiss. I want to go after those guys with a tomahawk. The engine is Frostbite 3. The platform is Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, and it's been released October 2nd, 2020. So it is a fairly new game, folks. And like I said, once again, I was very apprehensive about grabbing this game. It is a space combat game. I would actually say it's closer to a simulator if you could fly an actual Star Wars ship in a Star Wars universe. I'm not sure if that statement makes sense. But let's dive on in here into the game. So you do have a campaign on one side. You are flying. This is the game's time frame is set after the fall of the Galactic Empire, after the Battle of Endor. So on one side of the coin, you are flying as a pilot for the New Republic, and well, basically you're still actually fighting the war, the Galactic Civil War. It's just now you're fighting the Galactic Civil Wars in a officialized pilot in an officialized military setting. On the other side, you're fighting as an Imperial pilot, and you're trying to get rid of the the backbone of the Rebel Alliance and New Republic. Now, that being said, they actually did it in a very cunning way where the stories kind of intertwine with each other in a certain way in the campaign, and it's actually all pretty interesting and really cool how they did it. And total said and done, I think there's like 2 prologue missions which kind of teaches you how to use the fighter, how to do your power distribution and stuff like that, and then there's 14 missions total for the campaign itself, which it's actually 7 and 7. They split it down the middle. I'm going to talk really quick about what I liked about the game, then what I disliked about the game. And what I liked is the game is actually easy to learn, but hard to master. Basically, just learning the different types of controls and stuff like that is really easy to learn, really easy to pick up on how to fly, how to fight, the whole 9 yards, what the objectives are, etc. It's all easy to pick up. What's hard to master is like basically mastering on what kind of equipment you want to put on a different type of fighter for a different type of role, your power distribution, etc. The game itself sounds amazing. The engine sound like they're just directly from Star Wars. The laser cannon sound like they're from Star Wars, the whole 9 yards. It just sounds great. TIE fighters sound like TIE fighters. X-Wings sound like X-Wings. Corellian Corvettes sound like Corellian Corvettes. There's a lot of Star Wars music used in the game, but it was all used in an impactful way. It wasn't kind of like one of those things of, here, let's just play some Star Wars music right here to have Star Wars music. It was all used in an impactful way that helped drove the story. It was like watching a movie without watching a movie. It's got a simple to understand customization system, rewarding gameplay. It's got PvP and co-op based gameplay. So it's got a little bit of something for everyone. The game runs amazing. Usually somewhere with every game, there's a little bit of something that there's always like, that doesn't actually run as good as it should, or something like that. Like initially loading Marvel's Avenger, it really dogs craps my computer, and it does on everyone's computer. It's how the game is. This game just runs smooth all the time. Smooth as butter, man. It's got ship and cockpit customization options. You don't see any here. You can see some screenshots online. Unfortunately, what you're seeing here is just kind of like recorded gameplay from when I did the story mode. But when it comes to multiplayer, you can have different kinds of customizations in your cockpit as well as on your fighter. You can have different paint jobs on your fighter. You can have different logos on your fighter. in my cockpit for my New Republic fighters, I have a Baby Yoda bobblehead and a Razor Crest. It's like this dangly bit on like a keychain or something, just hanging there on my cockpit. And they kind of move around and stuff too as I like roll the starfighter, do different types of flips as I accelerate really hard or pull on the brake really hard, whatever. It reacts to me doing that in kind of a generic kind of sense, but it looks really good and it doesn't hinder the gameplay, so it doesn't bother me one bit. And that it's nothing super spectacular, but it's good enough to look good. And honestly, the biggest one, and I'm going to highlight this one, I want to put this in bold print if I could write it down. No microtransactions. Yes, folks, it is 2020, and there is a AAA title out there without microtransactions. I can't believe it. Like, holy hell. I'm even sitting here trying to tell you about this, and I can't believe it. I can't even tell you how I can't even put it in words to describe how excited I am to say that there's a AAA game out there without microtransactions. Kind of one of those things I never would have expected it coming, especially since this is 2020, and it seems like that's the standard anymore to release a game. Well, hell, some of these games aren't even released yet. I've seen games already in alpha, mind you, that have microtransactions. Games, $60 games, and closed betas with microtransactions. And this game doesn't have any microtransactions. So, Motive Studios, and I can't believe I'm giving EA Games credit for this, but good job. No microtransactions. I am very pleased about this, and this is actually one reason I am actually recommending this game. Now, there's not a huge amount of game modes, missions, ships to fly, etc. Now, when it comes to ships, they got the really important ships. They're also going to be adding some new ships here real soon. Now, that being said, all the ships are different. Even in the same categories, the ships are different. So, right now, currently, for the New Republic, you have the Y-Wing bomber. And then for the Empire, you have the TIE bomber. Both ships fly different. Both ships react differently to different things. And essentially, you probably have two different loadouts or technically multiple loadouts for each different ship. You might have similarities that are shared between those ships, such as I have a layout for my TIE bomber and my Y-Wing that both have cluster missiles. They both have the standard laser cannons. But past that, they don't share anything similar to one another, besides the fact that they're both a bomber role. So that kind of works out in a weird way in itself, to where it's like, well, yeah, you got two fighters, you got two interceptors, you got two bombers, and you got two support craft, and really what it comes down to is yeah, you have a total of 8 aircraft, because none of them are similar to one another enough to... you might have, like I said, similarities, but they're not perfect templates of one another. One loadout for an X-Wing does not work out for the TIE fighter, even though they're both fighters. And they're also soon going to be, towards the end of the month here, towards the end of December, they're going to be adding the B-Wing for the Republic, and they're going to be adding the TIE Defender, which I'm really excited about, for the Empire. So it's going to be really cool to see. When it comes to missions, there's not a whole lot of different missions out there. Well, different types of missions out there. Basically, when it comes to game modes, you have 3 game modes. You have dogfighting, which is PvP. You have ranked fleet battles, which is PvP, and then you have fleet versus AI, which is unranked co-op fleet battles. So basically, you have fleet battles and dogfighting, and that's really about it. You also have practicing, and actually in the practice mode, you can also do time trials as well as different kind of other things. But there's not a lot of stuff there. I think right now, currently speaking, there's only like 8 or 9 different maps. There's not a whole lot of maps, and they just added a map recently. It would be nice to see more. Maybe like, I don't know, some kind of mission scenario set up that you have to fly close air support for a battle group, or you have to attack and bomb an installation or defend an installation, whatever. It would be nice to see something different, as well as battles in atmospheres. All the battles pretty much take place in space. Now they do, like Yavin, it's more like kind of you're like surrounded by a nebula, and if you fly out of bounds, you get hit by some kind of electrical discharge storm. But generally speaking, there's not a lot of different stuff there content-wise. And there's actually also not a huge amount of character customization. There's this, I don't know how to explain it, but there's this rebel pilot. It looks like he has a porn star stash, and I'm pretty sure everyone flies that pilot, because it seems like 3 out of 5 pilots, that's what pilot they're using if they're flying Rebellion. Or sorry, Galactic Republic. Oh my God, Galactic Republic. New Republic, folks. I'm old and shit. Don't judge me. But otherwise, I mean, honestly, let me put it this way, folks. The game only does one thing. And that's pretty much allow you to fly a Star Wars starfighter in a sci-fi space scenario in the Star Wars universe. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. It does a phenomenal job of doing that. It's all impactful. It all feels pretty good. Now, one thing I have a feeling of is this is kind of one of those games that you're going to spend maybe 50 or 60 hours playing, and then the game's going to become pretty lackluster to you, because basically you've already flown all over the damn place. You've already shot down a bunch of fighters, completed a bunch of missions, won some battles, lost some battles, etc. That being said, though, folks, the game is only $40. That's regular price. And I actually do recommend the game, because I think this is a game, generally speaking, even if you're not a fan of Star Wars, you'll probably enjoy it just for its dogfighting aspects. It does it really good. Probably better than a lot of other games, to be honest. And if you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to be absolutely rabid about this game, and you're going to love it. And honestly, for $40, I feel it's worth it, because I feel like the average person is going to spend probably at least 40 hours in the game. To me, that's worth it. But also, I think I've seen it on sale now twice for like $24. I think I picked mine up for $24. I've heard people grabbing it as low as $20. So it's even better price if you grab it when it's on sale. But anyway, folks, hopefully you enjoyed this review of Star Wars Squadrons, and hopefully it helped you decide if you want to actually grab this game or not. As I said, recommend it. I have a lot of fun with it. But that's enough of that. Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in to my channel, watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You know what to do if you did, because I really, the likes and that really helps me out. Anyway, folks, thanks again for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day.